Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Kay. Now this week I'm going to do a requested video. Somebody asked me to talk about starting a new job as a patient care tech. Okay, so you probably watched my interview video, you got the job, and now you want tips on actually starting the job. So I'm going to tell you all about it in this video, so make sure that you stay tuned. Alright, so first things first, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You know, I know a lot of you guys keep coming back to my channel, but you're not subscribed. So I'm going to give you guys the chance to do that now. Thank you. But let's get to this video. So I think starting a new patient care tech job is like, you know, for me it was exciting, but then it was like a little nerve-wracking at the same time because, you know, it was like a new skill, and I think every time you have to acquire a new skill it's a bit scary. And my thing was, I don't really want to clean people. I didn't want to wipe anyone's butt. Like, that's the thing that I was thinking of. I was like actually a little terrified of that. I was like, oh my gosh, do we actually have to like touch them and wipe their butt? And that kind of scared me. But you know, I was up for the challenge. It was something new and I really was excited about it. And you know, it was a, you know, really good job for me. I feel like I learned a whole lot, and I think me being a float patient care tech made it even better because I was exposed to so much, and you know, I learned a lot of different new skills. So I think, you know, if this is like your entry-level job, I think it's great. You know, despite the good, the bad, the ugly, I think it's a great start. I think you can learn a lot. And I think, you know, even when it's not so great, you should just stick with it. That being said, you know, it is a hard job. It's hard dealing with people, you know, on their worst day. I mean, like, there are some people that are jerks to begin with. Imagine them on their worst day. That's you that have to deal with those kind of people. So you're going to be dealing with a lot of different kind of people that you've probably never seen before. Like, there's a lot of psych patients that I had to deal with. A lot of times you have to deal with people and their attitude, them being angry. You know, you have to just learn how to deal with those things as a tech and just not let it drive you crazy. So I'm going to give you guys some tips on starting a new patient care tech job so you can keep your sanity, okay? Okay, so the first thing that I would say is to remember that you have a big responsibility. Okay, so when you're dealing with people's lives, that's a big responsibility. I mean, if you accidentally do something and it caused a patient to die, like, how do you apologize for taking someone's life? Like, you can't really apologize for killing Sally because you didn't pay attention to something, or you just weren't following directions. Like, I mean, you can't really apologize for those things. So you want to make sure that you take the job seriously and understand the responsibility, and you know, just know that this is a different experience because it's not like flipping burgers or, you know, working at a clothing store. I mean, if you mess something up, it can always be replaced, but people's lives cannot be replaced. So just remember that first and foremost. And the next thing that I want to say is that you want to make sure that you're not going by someone else's experience. Like, I had my own experiences, and you know, they're good and they're bad at the same time. You know, I have like pros and cons for everything that I've ever done. So when I do these videos, I like to do, you know, the pros and the cons, because nothing is all bad and there's nothing that's all good. And I know people watch these videos to really get an idea of these careers, so I don't want to tell you anything bad and then it affects the way you think about it. Like, you need to have your own experiences, and I'm glad I had this experience. Okay, but you know, you need to just go in there, and you want to make sure that you look good, because when you look good, you feel good. Like for me, when I look like crap, I feel like crap too. I don't know if I'm the only one that's like that, but you know, if I look off, I just feel off completely. So I just try and look my best, and you know, make sure that you know, you don't have stains all over your clothes, or your clothes isn't wrinkled. You want to make sure that you look as professional as possible, because I mean, it does matter. Like, people are gonna judge you. Like, everything is based on first impression. Like, people are gonna look at you and they're gonna think something about you, and that's gonna be their first impression. And you know, not that you should care about every single thing that people think about you, but in a professional setting, there's certain things that do matter. You know, there's certain things that you want to care about. You don't want to be that person that always have a bad attitude, or ripped up clothing, stains all over the clothes. Like, I mean, that can really prevent you from getting certain opportunities just based on how you look. You know, naturally, based on how you look, you may not get certain opportunities, but if you're not dressed professionally, I say dress your best. Because my best could be different from your best. You don't have to look like anyone else. Like, be yourself, but be your best self. I mean, I know people in poor countries that, you know, no matter, you know, I could even say for myself, like when I lived in Jamaica, and even the people that lived in environments that weren't so affluent, like, they look good all the time. Like, you never catch students at any school looking ratchet. Everyone's hair was combed, everyone's outfit was ironed, it was clean, there was no stains on the clothes. It didn't matter if you had money or not, you gotta look clean, you know. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, always look professional, and don't wear excessive colognes. Like, for me, I have like certain lotions like that I won't wear to work. Like, you know, the fruity ones I may wear, but like if it's really strong, I try not to wear it, because it could really affect a sick person. So if someone's sick and you have this strong cologne, it can really like mess them up. Like, because I know when I'm sick and someone's wearing like a really strong perfume, it just makes me feel like really queasy, and it makes me feel even worse. So, you know, be careful with that, and just like look your best. Okay, so another tip that I have is to be confident even when you're nervous. And I know that's really hard, but I really feel like it's important, because when you start a job and someone's training you, sometimes that person is doing a little bit too much, and if you act like too nervous or like you don't know anything, they start treating you a certain way. Like, they're looking down on you in a sense, and they feel like they could talk to you any kind of way because you're new and you have to act new. But I feel like if you're confident, you know, and I don't mean arrogant, but if you're confident and you're showing them that, yeah, I'm learning, but you know, I'm not an idiot, you know, they'll have more respect for you. Like, you know, be willing to try new things, and if they show you something, be willing to try it yourself. Don't just say, oh, I'll let you do it again. You know, show me the first time and I'll try it myself the next time. Because some people will try and treat you a certain way if you're really nervous. So try not to be too nervous, because a couple of months or a couple of weeks from now, you're just gonna be like, I can't believe I was ever nervous or acted nervous, you know, when I first started this job. I mean, I definitely felt that way. So definitely don't be arrogant, you know, just be confident in yourself and show others your confidence, because they'll respect you more. Okay, so another thing that I want to mention is that you should ask a lot of questions. Like with me, when I'm training, I'm asking a million questions. Well, what happens if this happens? Well, what if this happens? What would happen in this case? Like, I'm asking those kind of things, and I'm writing notes. I always write my notes because that's how I remember things. Like, when I write it down, I have like a photographic memory, so it helps me to remember things. So, you know, I write things down, you know, I color coordinate things, so that I don't forget, because the last thing you want to do is forget what people are teaching you and then they're looking at you like you're stupid. I think people respect you a lot more when you are taking your notes and you're remembering the information. I mean, there's nothing wrong with asking people when you genuinely just don't know something. And even if you have to ask them again, if this is something new, sometimes you do have to ask people multiple times, like, you know, your trainer, how do you do this again? And don't be afraid. And some people, they'll be like, well, remember I already told you that. You need to just tell them, hey, I'm new to this, you know, if you're not comfortable training me, like, we can, you know, maybe find someone else. Because I don't think trainers, I hate when trainers do that, you know, I really don't like that. If you're training someone and they're paying attention but they don't understand, you should be able to explain it to them, you know. Now, if you're not paying attention and they say, well, remember we went over this, and that's your problem. You need to pay attention. And also, I would say protect your back. You know, remember that you only have one back. I'm going to say it in every single video that I do on being a tech. You need to protect your back, because even when you leave the job, it's like, okay, they can't do anything for you after you leave the job. Like, you know, if you mess your back up, there's only so much workers' compensation you can get, like short-term disability or whatever it is. Like, there's only a certain amount you can get, and then it's over. Like, you know, you're not gonna be on it for life. I mean, you have to really protect your back. Like, you have your team members there for a reason. Everyone's getting paid to be there. Don't be afraid to ask, even if they're, you know, even if someone's looking at you like that patient is just only like 80 pounds, like you can't do it yourself. If you really cannot do it yourself, just say, no, I need help. You know, don't be afraid to ask for help, because we're all a team. We all should be working together. And you don't want to hurt yourself and you can't work. You know, that just wouldn't be good. You only get one back. Okay, once that thing is messed up, that's it. Okay? Also, I would say don't leave your computer open, because like the last thing you want is for someone to chart under your name. Like, because honestly, like if someone charted under my name, I probably won't even remember, because I'm seeing so many patients. So you want to protect your everything with your name on it. Okay, so protect everything and make sure you document everything. Like, sometimes I even over document, because like I said, I don't remember the patients all the time. Like, after they leave, I'm just like, okay, well, I had that patient 2 weeks ago. I probably just won't remember. Unless they're like someone who's really memorable, meaning maybe something happened and that's how I remember them. But when you're seeing a lot of different patients every day, it's hard to remember them. So you want to make sure that you document everything. That's just going to protect you and the company. Because if a patient refuses to do something, and like, for example, some patients, they want to cry when you put the bed alarm on. They get so upset over it, and that's a liability for the hospital, you know. And you know, as a nurse also, your license, you know, is at risk, and as a tech, you know, you can get in trouble for that. So you want to make sure that, you know, you document things like that, because you can't forget to do it, because if you forget to do it and the patient falls, then they're going to look in that chart and they're not going to see that the patient refused, and then it's going to be on the hospital. So that's not good for you or your establishment. So you want to make sure that you document every single thing. Alright, so the next tip is to work hard. And you know, that may be a cliche, but at the end of the day, I feel like if someone's paying you to do a job, you just do the best you can, you know, because it's an exchange. You know, if you're paying me to do something, I'm gonna just try my best. And if I feel like I can't try my best, then I just won't work there anymore. And that's just how I see it. But I would say that this is a learning experience. Even if you hate the job, I know that being a tech is hard sometimes. And, you know, when you're on the floor dealing with lazy nurses that won't help you, annoying patients, lazy patients, it can get really frustrating, and it can get hard when it's a busy day and you're short-staffed, and you know, all these other issues that come about, you know, when it comes to being a tech. But you know, you still want to try your best because you are being paid to do this job. And also you just want to see this as a learning experience. I feel like nothing is permanent, and you know, you can use this as a stepping stone, because I always say if you can't handle a job like this, how can you move up, you know? So you want to make sure that you're just trying your best and you're learning as much as possible. And you know, by the time you become a nurse or a doctor, a PA, whatever you want to do, you're gonna learn so much as a tech that, you know, you're gonna be a better PA, a better doctor, a better manager. Whatever you're trying to do, you'll be better based on your experiences doing these dirty jobs, okay? And you know, try not to complain too much to your other co-workers, because the thing is, they're stressed out too. Now sometimes you can vent to each other about certain things, like, and it helps, but you don't want to just go into work and bring down the energy by complaining every single day. Like, most likely what happened last week is not gonna change. So sometimes you just gotta suck it up and deal with it, and you know, just pray before you go to work. Also, I want to mention that you want to focus on the work first. You know, even if you make friends with people, you know, I wouldn't even suggest making friends with people right off the bat. You need time to really soak up your new environment and get to know people before you're like, okay, we're BFFs. I would say take your time getting to know people, and you know, be careful of people that talk so much about other people, because they'll probably talk about you too. You know, I always say sip the tea, don't spill it, okay? So you can sit here and hear what everyone's saying, but the last thing that you want to do is start talking about people and, you know, spreading that bad energy, because sometimes you'll say one little thing and people will spin it however they want to spin it, and then say, oh, so and so said this, the new girl said this. And you know, that's just not good. Like, having drama in the very beginning when you start a job, that's not good. So I say, you know, listen, keep your ears open, sip that tea, but don't spill it. You know, don't tell people everything you feel. Even if you're annoyed, you don't know who these people really are, you don't know who they know. So you don't want to just start gossiping and, you know, just creating a toxic work environment. You know, so you just suck it up, go write in your diary or something. Go tell your friends at home, or your sister or somebody. But you know, you don't want to be that toxic person, and you don't want to tell your business, because like when you're in a job environment, sometimes people have nothing else to talk about but other people's business. So the last thing you want to do is tell people every little thing about you. Like, leave some mystery, because you know, you get boring after a while if people know everything about you. They know you're getting a divorce, they know that you're a swinger, they know if they know everything about you, they're just gonna spread it, and it's hard to make a good first impression twice. So you don't want people knowing all this about you in the beginning, because that's all they're gonna think of you the whole time you work there. You know, so you want to make a good first impression. Like I said, work hard, because if you go to work, you're sleeping, you're always on your phone, like, people, this is all people are going to think about you the whole time you work there. Even if you get better in the future, they're just going to remember the girl that always sleeps, or the girl that is always on her phone, the girl that's, you know, not paying attention. You know, just make sure that you're giving it your best, your very, very best, and being the best version of yourself. I mean, you're like a walking advertisement for yourself. Like, remember I said in my past videos that your reputation matters, because it does. You know, people are gonna know certain things. When they know certain things about you, they'll never forget it, you know. So you want them to know the best of who you are. You're a hard worker, team player, all this stuff that you said on your application. Just be that person, you know, because you're the new person and no one's gonna really have your back for anything in the beginning. So you don't want to give people anything to talk about, and you just want to be your best self. Be professional and just do your job and be nice to people. Okay. Also, you want to separate business from personal. You know, this is not social hour. Like, I'm one of those people, when I'm at work, I'm a bit more serious in a sense, because like I said, I'm dealing with serious situations. I'm dealing with people's lives. Like, I can't apologize for killing someone, you know, because of my negligence. You know, there's certain things you can't apologize for, so I have to take it seriously. And, you know, I mean, I could be cool with you, like, if we have downtime, you know, we could talk, have a conversation, but I like to focus on the job. And you want to, like, even if you're friends with people at work, you want to focus on the work first, because that's why you're there. You get in, get out, get the check. Okay. But you want to separate your business from personal, because that just don't mix. Okay, if you get too personal with business, it ruins the business. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have a healthy separation from your coworkers, because if you don't have that, sometimes if you get too friendly with people, they're not going to respect you, and that's just what it is. Like, some people, when they get higher positions, they can't even tell people what to do, because these people are their friends and they're scared, you know. So you want to make sure that when people know that you're at work, they know she's at work. We're friends outside of work, you know. And I would even take time getting to know people, because you just never know who people are, you know. And you may not like them down the line. So you know, you just take your time getting to know people, because sometimes the people you think you may not like, you end up liking, and then the people that, you know, you like initially, you may not like later on. So take your time. Like, it's not a race. Just, you know, observe and get to know people. And also, I want to mention that sometimes, you know, people get personal, and when things go wrong and someone points the finger at them that they thought they were cool with, and they're like, oh, I thought we were friends. But it's like, it's business. And sometimes when you're not focused, maybe you're joking around too much or playing around too much with that person, and then something bad happens, and then they point the finger at you, or you both get in big trouble. And, you know, this is not just regular kind of trouble. This is like lose your license kind of trouble. So when I'm at work, I like to be focused. So you definitely want to make sure that you're focused on your job, because you can easily miss something. Like, even night shift workers are at a greater risk of, you know, doing something wrong, because I mean, a lot of us are really tired, you know. So I mean, you could easily make a mistake. So you always want to make sure you're focused when you're dealing with people's lives. Alright, you guys, so that's it for this video. Those are my tips on starting your new patient care tech job. I really hope that it was helpful. I could also do videos on the pros and cons of being a flow tech, and any other videos you guys can think of. I'll definitely do those videos for you. Just comment below, and I really like hearing your experiences. Okay, share them below in the comments. You know, I like to interact with you guys. As you can see, I do respond back to like everyone, so make sure that you comment and tell me about your experiences as a tech. I'm pretty sure you guys have some unique experiences. Like I said, it's a hard job, you know. Like, I feel like you have to be everything to the patient. Like, you have to be their psychologist. I mean, sometimes you're in those rooms for so long, you have to be like their maid, you have to clean them up, you have to be their chef, like you have to be everything to them, and sometimes that can be very overwhelming. So, you know, I'm really glad that during this time that healthcare workers are getting some shine and, you know, getting some thank yous from people, because that doesn't always happen. But, you know, definitely you have a very important job, and it's a hard job, but, you know, keep pushing even when it gets rough. And just use it as a learning experience, as I said, and just try your best to take care of your patients. You know, these people are sick and you're not sick, you have strength and health, you know, so you just gotta serve God and your patients and just do your best. You know, that's all you can really do. Oh, and I forgot, make sure that you take vacations. I forgot to say that. I said that in a past video, but that's very important, because you can really burn out with this job. You can really burn out. So make sure that you take vacations, you take breaks, don't do too much overtime all the time. You know, you need the money, but you also need your peace of mind, okay? All right, I'll see you guys on the next video. Make sure you comment and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.